Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 29 of the Crypto Waffle. Today's topics are the Cetus hack on Sui.
Cetus.
Cetus. Sounds like the same fetus.
Yeah.
Hack on Sui. We break down the latest exploit and what it means for Sui and its ecosystem. Topic 2, hype to flip Sol. Is Hyperliquid the next breakout chain? And gems of the week are top high potential plays for the bull run and some killer charts. And I also want to throw up in that killer charts bit some macro charts as well. So let's kick it off. Explain to me what has happened with the Sui hack because I have zero clue.
Right then, I will probably share my screen, I suppose, as some people are visual learners. Let's go to, we'll start with X, shall we? Let me share my screen. So basically, last week, maybe about 3 or 4 days ago, there was a hack on the biggest exchange or the biggest DEX on Sui, which is called Cetus. It's probably the biggest DEX on both Sui and Aptos. It's quite big on both chains.
Oh, it's on Aptos as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
I never knew that.
So I use Cetus whenever I'm on Sui buying my meme coins. Anyway, they got hacked. The way they got hacked was that somebody exploited an overflow in a piece of code regarding the liquidity pools. So what they were able to do was add 1 unit of something to a liquidity pool. So maybe it might be like 1 FUD the pug, or PEPE is not on that chain, but the equivalent of 1 PEPE or 1 whatever. And once they've added that 1, they could tell the liquidity pool, actually, I've added 1 billion. And then they'll add 1, but the liquidity pool will think that this person now owns 99% of it. They can then withdraw the 99% that they didn't actually own. So that's how it worked. And they did that. They withdrew about $223 million worth from the Cetus Protocol in under 24 hours.
Have they managed to wash any of this yet, or is it
No.
still? The only thing I did hear was a freeze of some sort.
So they did put a freeze on it. So the way that Sui works is that you have validators. Now the validators can all come together and say, right, we're not going to process any transactions from this address. So they realized where the stolen funds were and they immediately moved to freeze them. So the attacker managed to move about 80 million off of the chain, or about 60 million. About 60 million they managed to move off of the chain. The other 162, the validators are blocking. The fact that the validators are blocking it, some people are complaining and they're saying, oh, this makes the chain centralized, wah, because they feel like if you steal all that, it should just remain stolen. I think that being decentralized doesn't mean that you have to be stupid. So if somebody has clearly stolen 200 million, you should be allowed to collectively say, we are not going to process those transactions. Bearing in mind that if a sizable chunk of the validators decide to process the transactions will still go through. An example of that would be when Ethereum, some validators did not block Tornado Cash or people who had used Tornado Cash. So another interesting part was that when this Cetus protocol got all of the meme coins and everything on Sui went down massively. So all of the meme coins and all of those sorts of things, they all went down 70% plus. It was an absolute bloodbath because all of these things have got relatively thin liquidity. So if someone comes in, takes everything out of the liquidity pool and sells it all, which is the method by which they take everything out, it will push all the prices down to basically zero.
So that was a pretty scary moment, seeing some of those memes drop 90% in a matter of minutes.
Which brings us to our next question: is Cetus, let's go CoinGecko, at these prices, is Cetus now a good purchase assuming that it will recover. Bearing in mind, on the chain,
Have you got? Let me get an actual chart in front of me, because I don't really like looking at those ones. What's the ticker for it?
CETUS. Bearing in mind that on SUI, I don't think Cetus has much in the way of competition.
Oh, right, okay. So it's had a 50% drop?
Yeah.
Back to all-time highs is around a 3x. Chart looks pretty good, to be fair.
Now, if SUI continues to go on to be the darling of the cycle, Cetus will recover. There is no ifs, no buts about it. So does this, the question really for the listeners or the opportunity is Cetus now a distressed asset that will not remain distressed for the entire cycle? If it re-hits all-time highs, which it really should do, that's a 3x. If it smashes through them because SUI goes on a tear and it builds its own ecosystem, it could do a lot better. The fully diluted market cap is 123 million. I guess its competition would be something like Pancake Swap,
Yeah.
which is the Binance version or the BNB version, which has a fully diluted valuation of 900 million. Billion, sorry. No, 900
I mean,
million.
it looks pretty good chart-wise. You've got continuous higher highs and higher lows. There's no break of trend yet. And just in the short term, it's noise, isn't it, effectively? So, yeah, I'd be inclined to say this is probably good.
A decent time to pick it up.
Also, I can draw a quick trend-based fib extension, and it gives me targets all the way up to around $2.
Right, so the only thing that worries me about it, well, the two things that worry me about it, but the main thing that worries me about it is that the dip has not been bought up as quickly as I would have liked it to be. So I would have
On
thought,
Cetus specifically?
yes, on Cetus specifically, because I would have thought that a lot of people would have been thinking the way I'm thinking and be like, right, well, this is a good buy here because it's dropped so much and it's not dead. They should have already had the fix. The fix should already be in because the issue wasn't massive. So the fix should already be in. So the question is, why hasn't this dip been bought up? But I don't know the answer to that.
No. Unfortunately, I don't know. I thought that could be a fundamental answer.
Yeah.
There could be no technical way at looking at it. But yeah, here it still looks pretty good. You're coming into some areas of support around. I mean, the must-hold area for me would be the 11.5 cents area. If we lost that, then we could definitely be going to 6 or 7. On a monthly time frame as well, it just looks like a pullback to support, so I'd be inclined to buy it.
What you look at? What's the down? Show us your charts. What's the downside? Where's the next support level? And
share screen. Cetus. So you guys should now be able to see.
Yep.
Look at that. So this is a monthly, bear in mind. So each candle here represents a whole month of trading. Now, I would like to see it hold this around 11.5 cents. So the bottom of this green box, effectively. Your upside or your downside potential and the line in the sand for me would be a loss of this diagonal support here that goes all the way back to when it come out effectively. So if you were to come straight down from here, you're looking at around 55%. If it's in a couple months' time, you're looking at around a 50% downside. Then your upside, as I just said, a trend-based fib extension at maxed out levels, you're looking at about $2, which is about a 15x from here. So I think risk to reward wise, pretty good.
Yeah. It looks like I don't think we can get it on. I'm wondering if we can get it on hyperbolic.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No, it's not.
Far too small for that.
Well,
So do you think this will affect the chain anymore? Do you think it is over now? The scare, effectively.
I think the scare's done. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the scare's done. I think we've had our big drop. All of the FUD that comes with it has happened. The chain hasn't died, as chains don't die because of this stuff. The hacker's going to take his money and off he goes. And eventually, the meme coins that do have community on Sui will recover. What was interesting also was Deep Book was one of the Sui plays.
That actually performed really strongly, didn't it?
It wasn't rocked at all. It was
Yeah.
literally the one Sui play that was not rocked by this hack.
I think
Now,
that tells you basically everything you need to know about Deep.
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think it was interesting that I guess it's not even on Cetus because when I look through the markets that it's here, I can't see Cetus. I can see weeks, I can see everything else, but I can't. Oh yeah, here is Cetus.
Yeah, Deep's just in a lovely ball flag, ready for its next move, effectively.
Yeah, yeah. It's not showing. It's not showing Cetus because it's not. Obviously, it's been hacked, hasn't it? So, but yeah. So I think that it says a lot about Deep being one of the darlings of the Sui ecosystem. That it didn't even flinch when the whole Cetus hack occurred.
Mm.
Maybe they managed to stop the Cetus stroke Deep pool from being hacked, but I can't imagine that was the case because I would imagine the hackers went after that one first, as it would have been the most liquid. But who knows?
Mm.
Either way,
Interesting, though.
Deep's held up really well.
Well, that's Sui's first major hack, no?
As far as I know, yeah.
Which is
As far
always
as I
a
know.
good sign as well, because
Well,
it's
technically, it
testing
wasn't
the
really
chain, isn't it?
well, it wasn't really a Sui hack. It was a Cetus hack. So Sui the chain.
Just affected the Sui network.
Yes, exactly. It just so
Yeah.
happened that Cetus is on Sui, and you wouldn't get that type of stuff happening on EVMs because they all use Uniswap's code base, which has been battle tested over years, whereas the Sui stuff is all a little bit more new. So there's a little bit more smart contract risk. The people who would have lost money would be the people who had their tokens in the liquidity pools, which
Yeah.
we never really discussed. But if you was offering liquidity on Cetus, which I have done in the past, but wasn't doing last week, luckily, you would have been one of the people who would have been out of luck
Mm.
with your tokens having gone. So that is one of the risks of
Yeah.
providing liquidity.
So Sui will be safe. Just to recap for everyone that's maybe coming late, Sui will survive. It should continue to still be a darling of this cycle.
Yeah, and the question now is, does Cetus recover? If it does, you're looking at 3x.
I think it's a good buy. Well, you're looking at 16x if it goes to the targets that I have.
Yeah. Well, if it does what we think it will do over the rest of the cycle, then it should do really well.
Yeah.
But even if it doesn't, and it just gets back to where it was before it got hacked, then it should.
Yeah, still a decent run anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing, so I don't know if anyone else follows Arthur Hayes on X. If you don't, I highly recommend. It's sometimes quite an amusing read, some of the stuff he posts. Now, he came out with a tweet, I believe it was last week actually, saying hype to flip Sol. First thoughts, yes or no? Do you think that's possible?
No, from me.
Yeah.
Can't see it. Can't see it happening. I love Arthur Hayes. I think he is one of the most entertainingly brilliant minds in the space. I love that he swears a lot. But Solana, for me, at 91 and
Hype's at 12.
Wow. Hype's a lot bigger. Hype's a lot bigger than it was the last time I looked.
Yeah, it's still got a way though, hasn't it? I'm
It's
of the
still got.
opinion the same as you. Like even as we pick up steam, Sol will continue to move higher. which it just can hype catch it. I don't think it will. Could hype definitely get into the top 10? 100%. It's only at the 11th now. But I think you could definitely see it above Cardano, which is just, it needs to do 100%. It's above Tron and Cardano from here.
Hype is magically placed, and also they've got brilliant incentive structure. So the way that they're using their hype token is brilliant. But I think that although they weren't the first mover, they've kind of got best mover advantage on decentralized perps. Yikes is just the word, because
difficult one, isn't it?
it is.
Because there's actually a world in which I could see it happening. Because I wouldn't say, I don't 100% it's not going to happen.
No, there's
kind of a 10% of me that's like,
there is a world.
Maybe.
Yeah, there really is a world. And you consider that not that they can put anything on their chain, but they can almost put anything on their chain, and almost anything can go on there. So if there is
what I like about it as well, the only thing that isn't great for hype for traditional investors is that it's not easy to get money onto. Like, a lot of people don't know how to bridge to Arbitrum and then go from Arbitrum into hype. But once you're there, it's a great thing. It's simple to use. It's really easy to find your way around. Everything's laid out nicely. Like, your profit and loss is very easy to find. It's easy to get limit orders. I mean, as you guys have probably seen when we do our trades, like, it's not hard for us to put on. It's just that initial first step. And I think that do you know why they use Arbitrum as like a main thing?
No.
Is that just to make it a bit more difficult, and they only want the crypto OG/whales in?
As far as I know, they did have their own chain. Hype does have its own chain. It's got its own EVM. But I don't know enough about it to know why they have to bridge through Arbitrum. I don't know why. That could be my homework. I could go and find out. I don't know why. Of all the chains, why Arbitrum? But
so on hype though, so if people have been a part of what was previously my paid Telegram, which is now Crypto Waffle VIP, you guys would have been dropped, and let's get it up for you, everyone, per. Now, a while ago, actually, if I stop sharing that one and share my full screen, because the DEX screener chart is a much better one of it. So you should now be able to see DEX screener.
I can see it, yeah.
So this bad boy here. So I said a while ago to clients of Financial Navigator.
We said it on here.
I think we might have mentioned it on here.
Yeah,
we were down here, weren't we?
Yeah,
it was in between March and April.
Yeah, we were jumping up and down.
Yeah, and I said this, I believe, will be a fake out zone on bigger time frames. And if I go out to like the monthly, you can kind of see the monthly candles literally closed at what was my, okay, if it gets below here, get out zone. And then if you go into the weekly, you can see that we have basically since then had this nice double bottom effectively in here, as you can see, like a W, and just broken out along with hype, because obviously hype is as well, if you didn't know. So if you come to here, hype is at all-time highs. Hype is at all-time highs and is ready, by the looks of things, to continue its move.
Yeah.
It looks ready to rock. And if that continues to rock, Per will continue to rock. And I have said and had this line drawn for ages, Per is likely going to $1, which from current price is great, because that is around a 2x. But thankfully for myself and others, we have better entries of around between 8 to 12 cents. So let's take a 10 cents entry to $1. You're looking at a tidy 10x. And I also have, for full transparency, a leverage trade on this with an average price of 0.09. So that is, I think, just today ticked up at 400%, I want to say.
Yeah.
But I think if hype continues to fall, or continues, sorry, not continue to fall, continues to ride, definitely look at the hype ecosystem. And I don't know what else is on there. The only thing I've looked at is Per. And now I'll tell you the funny thing, right? Little story time. So I know a guy who's my age who lives near me. He has recently moved to Dubai. Now works for a big crypto exchange out there. And he, before hype even came out, was like, look, there's this token being dropped on Hyperliquid. It's its own meme coin. Didn't know anything about hype then. Didn't know anything about Per, and totally missed the move. Like missed it going all the way up to 68 cents. Never heard about it. Anyway, then obviously you hear about hype again because it was getting smashed. And when I say getting smashed, I'm talking about this down here when hype literally went from around $30 all the way to 10. And I thought, Per. I was like, Christ, what's that bad boy doing? Saw it getting absolutely battered. And I was like, yes, this is where you want to be picking it up. So that's what we've done. But yeah, definitely look into the ecosystems for the stuff that moves. So on hype, there might be other memes because I know this is their kind of their mascot for the chain. Because when you go on a hype, and if you print those little stickers, as you guys may have seen me post into the Crypto Light channel, it's the little cat on the thing doing a dance or whatever. It's like this here, effectively. But yeah, it's one of the ones to watch. It's a great looking chart. You've had the reclaim of this support area down here, but between like 11.50 and 10 cents, we should be pushing to all-time highs, and it probably goes way further than my even targets of a dollar. You can see here on my screen, my next take profit zone is around that 55 cents level, all-time high. We already cleared 2 zones, which we have trimmed off initial investments. So it's all happy days from here.
Is it still a decent entry, or have we?
Yes, on a longer term outlook. So, and I'm talking between now and say end of year or Q1, end of Q1 26 at the latest. I think it's a decent entry. Would I be looking to wait for a drop? Yeah, sure. It would be lovely to get. I mean, to be fair, I say lovely. It's already been down there. It's already been down to 24 cents, as you can see on my chart here. I was going to say retesting this high, which is already done. And quite frankly, it depends on the hype. If hype continues to move in, which it has, and all what it has done is, you can see here on the daily. I mean, if I went to a 4-hour, it'd probably look a bit better. We got above all-time highs, come back in, retested it, formed this little bull flag, and we've moved up again. We're now just chopping again. Hype looks ready to continue. If that continues, Per continues. Obviously, at some point, we will probably get a flush of 10, 15, 20%. Who knows how high we go before we get that. But Per will be affected. So it's a difficult one. But yeah, having a longer term outlook, definitely look at maybe taking a position in this. But be mindful, it is still a meme. And if you go on this 4-hour chart, actually, this is a 3-hour. But anywho, we went up to 28 cents and then dropped 20% in a matter of in a day to 22 cents. So you will have these volatile moves in between. Like we had another big move here at 17 and a half, another 22% move down to 13. So it won't be plain sailing. It won't be, oh, I can buy this and to continue go to the moon forever. It will have these pullbacks, but it's just sitting in them long enough effectively to deal with it.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Yeah, indeed.
I missed out on Per, which is unforgivable. Seeing
it's
that.
Annoying for me as well because I was telling you about it.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll move on. We'll move into gems of the week, and I know you've got one for us. So hit us with it.
I've got one that I keep on hyping. I love it. I absolutely love this project.
Sell it to me. Pitch us.
All right. So there's this group, and I think they're called FaZe Clan. And every single week we speak about this project. Well, not every single week, but the last 3 weeks in the trot, I've mentioned this project. But it's a meme coin, which is got the backing of these guys at FaZe Clan. The main guy at FaZe Clan actually backs it as well, and it is called MLG.
No,
Now,
can you give us the full name for
it's
the?
called 360 No Scope 420 Blaze It, and it is
That's the
brilliant.
one we're looking for.
And it is brilliant, and I like it so much. I'm going to show. Let me share my screen. I will do. Which one should I do? Let me do this one. Actually, let me do this window. This might make more sense. Does that one make more sense?
Yeah.
Right. So they've got like a. This might turn out to be loud. If this gets loud, I'll have to close it quickly. They've got their own. They've got their own. Oh, this ain't even the website. Well, they've got their own website, which this isn't. Where it's just really cool stuff. They have their own servers where people play Call of Duty and all those other types of games. People in their own community play their own games. They've got their own YouTube, Twitter, this, that, and the other. But the reason why I like it so much is because the guys who are behind it have got a massive following. So whilst it's down here at 0.01, at 13 million, they will probably not be fussed about promoting it or whatever. But when it catches a bid and it starts to head back up to these sorts of lofty heights, which it was at earlier in the year, up at...
The Dex screener chart is an absolute beauty for this, by the way.
Right, let me see if I can... Let's see if Gecko Terminal is helping me. You'll have to guide me to how to use these bloody charts. Or should I just go?
If not, I can share mine. I've got mine.
You know what?
Already.
You share it. You share whilst I speak.
Yeah.
So they've got this main phase guy. He backs it. They got a lot of followers. The demographic of the followers are all like young, obviously. Gamers, yeah, the perfect type of people for meme coins. People who want to belong to something. People who are tech savvy. People who live in the metaverse, as we call it. So all of the things are pointing towards it reclaiming where it was. If it does, I don't know how many.
It's a high risk, high reward strat.
Yeah, but even for it to get back to where it was, it's like a 10x.
Just shy of a 10x, I think. So from current price, if we go back to prior highs, you're looking at just shy of 17x. So it did a serious move. All-time high, you're looking at about 23 cents. Is that right? High, yeah, just shy of 24 cents.
Yeah.
And so from a technical point of view, for me, two patterns at play. You have a cup and handle, which has broken out here and retested. Okay, you're waiting for that next move. A target of that cup and handle actually takes you about 2.5 cents. And then we do have a bigger pattern at play, which is this left shoulder here, big rounded head, and a right shoulder here. If that's to break, we definitely could go to the target of around 10, just over 10.5 cents. So there is serious upside potential here, but you have to remember it has a market cap of 13.4 million. So
it's tiny.
Yeah,
it's tiny.
Be prepared to any money you invest, just put down the toilet.
It's got trading volume of 1.6 million. So trading volume's around 10%. The trading volume's not too bad. It's not on any big exchanges yet.
No, I know it's on CoinX, MECX, and some others.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's not on none of the majors like Kraken, Binance.
Right, exactly. None of those are big ones. And
BitGet, any of them.
Should it get some momentum, I believe this could be one that then gets monster volumes. If it gets monster volumes, there's a good chance it goes on some of these other bigger exchanges.
Because I was buying it, so full transparency, the other day I bought a bag, and I was the only person on CoinX buying it. So as I was buying it, the price is just going up, and I'm putting myself even further behind. I was like, bastards.
You got to try
someone else to come in with me.
You got to get it on Radium.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked to take it all out and then into radium, and just thought, yeah, I'll buy it on there.
Buy it on there, yeah. So radium's got the deepest liquidity at the minute. It's
Yeah.
about 30 grand. So yeah, so it was so that is my gem of the week. Every week we're
So
gonna come
how
back.
long's the time frame on this? Do you reckon 1 week, 2 week, or is this
No, this is a
multi-month
yeah, this is a buy it
play?
and hold it. This is a wait for it to pop. Like this is a
Okay.
like either it pops or it doesn't. Like you sit and you buy it, you set it, you
Are you
forget
in
it.
your position like I
Not
am?
yet. No, I'm doing that thing which I always do, where I go and I tell you about something, and then and then I don't buy it, and then it like does some crazy moves, and then I'm like, oh, I should have bought that. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
will,
am in. I'm in for
yeah,
full
I will buy it
transparency.
today. I'm not gonna get a massive bag,
Yeah.
but I do want something where if it 10x's, which I'm
Yeah.
hoping it does, it should be enough to, you know,
And my gem of the week is one you told me about when we first ever talked, and that was probably back in what, 2020, early 24, correct?
yeah,
Late 23-ish,
late 23,
something
I
like
should
that.
say. Yeah,
So that must have been down here. And yeah, so when I first met Crypto C, he dropped some alpha, said definitely look at Xano. So that's what I did, followed it, and then bought a big bag of it with an average price of like $3, something like that. And then pretty much sold 70% of that bag, bang at the high, and I've added back on this dip. But Xano, I believe, is still a gem. And as you can see, and I would, if actually out of interest, I want to chart it against Sui to see. Okay, so we know Sui has been one of the best performers. Xano has equally been as good. As you can see, there is no. I mean, if anything, you could say there's a slight trend up here.
yeah.
Here. So you could say, if anything, maybe there's an argument to say that Xano has been slightly
Is
outperforming.
have you got Monero on here? Can you chart? Can you chart Zano against Monero?
Yeah.
Monero being like the big daddy of privacy
Is
coins.
that what's the ticker for that?
Uh, XMR.
MX XMR.
XMR.
So yeah, you can see Xano's outperformed it.
Okay.
Clear trend. You'd be looking for, well, actually, it's just broken trend. You could, there's an argument to say, but we are on what would be some horizontal support. But yeah, Xano is my gem. I think it has significant upside potential still. You've still got your trend as your friend, with lows and new highs been putting in, as you can see. We've just had a low, I believe, and I believe we will be going for new highs
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Uh, and what you can see on my chart as well, oh, let me get rid of that, is, as you know, I love patterns. There's another cheeky little head and shoulders at play.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking, well, this daily chart looks a lot weirder compared to a lot of charts. Yes, it does. I think there's a lot of manipulation going on with this token, because you can see you have these moments of just massive sells or very steady buys, massive sells. I mean, look at that. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, in 12 days, just straight green in Xano. And this is only a market cap of, is it 300, I believe?
136.
136, even smaller than I thought. And for something that small to have this much, what I'd class as insider looking stuff going on, I think it's a great sign. And
Do
this
you
head and
think?
shoulders pattern, if we break out from current target and this right shoulder does form, we should be going to around $30,
Do you
which
think that's? Do you think that's because there's insiders, or do you think that's because it's a mined coin?
well, I think it could be because of insiders, or maybe it's getting listed on a DEX, because it's none of these big DEXs either.
No.
Not odd sexes. It could be either of them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on none of them.
No.
And normally, when you see this stuff, if you then look at stuff that's in the past, if you do a bit of like back testing, you'll then see that then maybe down the line they come out. And it's because, let's be honest, these sexes will buy stuff months in advance if they're listing something
Yeah.
before they then list it. So to me, It's kind of a tell. And it's actually been a really good asset to that respects its levels. Like we come up to this trend line high here, and then on the weekly we got that beautiful reversal candle there, the inverted hammer, and then just got hammered straight down. Where did we go to? In this big area of support between 450 to 550. We've hit a local bottom, straight back up, claimed the key area of support around 820. As you can see that wick there, lovely little retest, and we should be on our way to forming that right shoulder, which once we break the neckline should be taking us to just shy of $30. So again, time frame wise, it's kind of the same as MLG. I think we could definitely be holding this one towards the end of the cycle.
All right. Okay. So I'm definitely going to get that one now. I always say it, but this time I mean
You've been holding off for too long, and if you buy it now and it dumps, leave it alone, please, because I was doing perfectly well.
No. It will do good. I know it'll do good because the guys that are working on it they're clever guys, some smart Russians.
And literally, all I needed was to buy it was your word.
Yeah.
And my initial thought process was, yep, chart looks good. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Buy.
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Okay.
Basically, everything you shouldn't be doing, I did.
Yeah, and it's worked out.
Has been one of the best, probably one of the best performing assets in my portfolio, actually.
It's because it's high risk. That's why it was tiny when you got it.
It was tiny.
Well, so, I think your next best performing asset will be MLG.
Fingers crossed. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
So just quickly before we go into our trades for last week, I want to share some macro charts.
Let's do it.
Can you see these? Oh, actually, I don't want it like that because I need to be able to click the highlighted things. Can we see this?
Yes. You can see it.
Beautiful. So, first chart we have is a trueflation overlaid with financial conditions. So, effectively, trueflation was dropping or has been dropping since mid-2024. Financial conditions doing the same. Kind of hence why during Q1, as you can see on this chart, going into 2025, we had this big sell-off, which was here because this was when 2025 started, effectively, or near where it started. And in the future, this is telling us that inflation should start to tick high from here, which some people may be thinking, whoa, inflation, oh my God, scary, it's back. When actually, the markets will sometimes see it as a good thing because the deflation risk, the tail end of that market, because if inflation keeps falling, everyone goes, oh my God, we're going into deflation, which is kind of what China's dealing with now. And if anyone's seen the PBOC's balance sheet, it's been expanding at ridiculous rates. So that deflation risk, you'll probably see some headlines coming out soon. Markets taking inflation going up positively because everyone is now not panicking about deflation, which for markets is obviously a very bad thing if it happens. So you should be able to see inflation and tick up over time. And it's just one thing I wanted to warn everyone about. Don't be scared if you start seeing inflation start ticking up a little higher. It's nothing to be overly concerned about. Next chart here is the S&P 500 in 1996 to January 2001. March 1996 to January 2001 and overlaid today. So the current S&P 500, as you can see, has a very tight correlation. And this drop-off we've seen due to tariff scares looks like to be a V-reversal. And a lot of other macro pundits that I do listen to are saying V-reversals off the cards, blah, blah, blah. And if this chart plays out the same as it looks to be doing, we will have a V-reversal and we will end up just ticking higher, effectively. Same here for... actually, no, that's the same chart. I don't know why I'm showing it twice. Apologies. And then global M2 versus NASDAQ. So for a while, if anyone's part of Real Vision, you would have seen this chart. And what Julien Bittel and Raoul Pal were saying is that basically the NASDAQ has gone way below where it should have gone in this scare of tariffs. And we had this, what they called the excess fear gap, which has now caught back up to global M2. So what you should be seeing in the NASDAQ, if this chart continues to correlate, is the NASDAQ just continued to march higher. And this does suggest that the NASDAQ goes to above around 24K, I believe by around July or mid-June, July, something like that, timing-wise. So another one is NASDAQ and financial conditions. So if you overlay them and you look, you can see again there's an excess, what they've called an excess fear gap here in the NASDAQ overlay with financial conditions. And financial conditions do have a 6-month lead. And this is showing us that it's going higher. So where do we see NASDAQ if the financial conditions are going higher over time, which is a good thing because obviously stocks on that higher, even better. And then this is what I thought was great. This was my favorite chart of the whole report, which was 48 slides effectively. And this is the Bank of America Global Fund Manager Survey of May 2025. According to the May Bank of America Fund Manager Survey, managers are running their lowest US equity allocation since May 2023. So the dip that we've just seen, no big boys bought that up. It was pure retail. And because all they've known is buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, is they bought the dip and they have basically given a middle finger to the big guys, and the big guys are now like, shit, we missed the dip. And the S&P is now 23% off the lows, NASDAQ's up 29% off the lows, so they're kind of left stuck holding the bag here, and will probably end up pushing those retail guys bags even higher as we go down this year. Also M2 with Bitcoin, as you can see, 12-week lead. What did it show us? Up and to the right. Global M2 in August 2016 and January 2018, and global M2 today. As you can see, what we've seen this time round has been a bit of a faster trend higher. So it wouldn't be surprising if once we have this initial move, or once we finish this move that we're in, we maybe see a summer low again, where we have that long 3-6 months in the summer of just chilling out effectively. And then this one, I think we've covered before as well, it continues to expand, which is the G5 central bank net liquidity flows. And that's what we want to see. We want to see it continuing to rise after being negative for pretty much, 2.5 years, something like that. And then one of Real Vision's thing that they've kind of been known for as of recently, their Bitcoin cycle top finder. So every time Bitcoin has topped, this has triggered. As you can see, hasn't even flinched effectively. If anything, we've just made a lower low, and we've got, if anything, way more to go. And then the final one that everyone loves is the banana zone chart. It looks like we are just about to come out of that phase 1 correction. Where phase 2 correction happens, nobody knows. But we are on our way to that phase 2. And I believe that phase 2, for me and what I know and what I listen to, I think will be around the 130 to 150K area. Maybe we get to 150, then we drop to 30/20. That's the phase 2 correction before maybe the last leg. So they're the charts I wanted to just go over quickly before we go into ours. And it's just really to remind people that macro's still looking good. And I know a lot of people are very uncertain here, worried about tariffs still. And I just think all of that tariff news is slowly coming off the board effectively. And macro is crypto is macro. Macro seems to be doing its thing at the minute, which is what we want.
I'm going to quickly check
The VIX?
No, I want to quickly check tariffs on Polymarket to see if there is any, if anybody does still think that tariffs will go in. But
I think he'll probably solve it at some point. And all tariffs have been is just people's reactions to headlines, like realistically. And if I'm honest, I have paid zero attention to any tariffs
yeah,
news or anything that's happened
yeah, you have
because
been saying that all the way through. Where I've
and
been saying, "Oh no, tariffs," you've been like, "I don't care."
a bigger picture, it really doesn't matter. And we say this all the time. The biggest underlying fundamental is, are they printing money?
Yeah.
If yes, everything in between is just pure noise.
If yes, number go up. If no, number no go up. Simple.
Indeed. If they don't print money, we sell everything and run for the hills.
So regarding the Fed Reserve's interest rates changes, it's now looking like June there will be no change. I don't think we have one for, is July the next one? Or
Possibly.
do they skip a month?
Is there any data out this week?
Likely, yes.
Let's have a look. So we do have. What are we, Tuesday?
So yeah, the next one is July. There is one in July, and that's looking, according to Polymarket, massively 80% like no change as well.
Well, we've got nothing. We've got an FOMC meeting on Wednesday this week. Then on Thursday we have initial jobs claims. Other than that, there's nothing really I'm interested in. And then on Friday we have, again, nothing major in my book.
No. No.
The next bit, I mean, you've got ISM on June the 2nd, which for me is a thing I would like to see.
I kind of feel like the numbers are not really the biggest news at the minute now.
No, I don't think they are.
I don't think the numbers are the biggest news.
I don't think they are. Well, let's get into trades because I believe we hit some winners.
We hit some winners. Well, we had a guest on last week.
We did.
Our guest was Crypto Insight UK. He was a good guest actually.
Yeah, great guest.
Yeah, he was. He knew a lot of stuff. He spoke well.
Very knowledgeable. And
Yeah.
if you, by the way, also, so whilst we're here, I will plug his Substack because I do read it every week. Let me just get that up and I shall share the screen quickly. Oh no, it takes me to my Gmail. Anyway, if on his Substack, I would highly recommend checking out his posts. Effectively, his Substack, I believe, is called the Weekly Insight. There's 143 editions, so he's been doing it for a very long time, and it's definitely something to look at. And I believe it's free also as well, so you haven't got to worry about paying at all.
Here it is.
Got it? That's it.
There
Perfect.
it goes. Yeah, so a few days ago, XRP. He's a massive XRP bull, which he had admitted to when he was here last time. When I look through his tweets, it is a lot of XRP to the moon. So he is quite XRP heavy in his.
And to be fair, it has been on its way to the moon. So
Yeah, he's not been wrong. XRP, by the way, is another one which I shunned when it first came out, when I first got into crypto, because it wasn't properly decentralized, and the XRP Foundation hold so much of the supply that at any point they could dump the price down to zero. So I was like, you guys are idiots for buying that thing. No, not. It's just, another L for Cryptocy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Many
so
rails.
this is the
Great little Substack, and it's not too long either. To be fair, you could get through it in a coffee and a piece of toast.
yeah, it's good stuff. But so he was on, and he had his own ideas. He actually put in a prediction on all of the ones. So instead of just having two, we now have three.
Sorry, before we go through ours, don't we need to go over them and put some new ones on?
Yeah, exactly.
We're
That's what
doing
we're
this
going
in
through.
wrong order, aren't we?
No, yeah, well, that's why I haven't started sharing my screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were going to share.
No, 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 no. No, that's why I've not shared my screen. Um, so yeah, so he put some on. He put one on. So we had 3 predictions for each asset last week.
Yeah. So let me share screens and we will quickly go over them. So first off, it was Bitcoin.
Yeah,
And I'm going to let you guys have it. You guys did have predictions of 113. We indeed tagged, I believe, a high of 112. So great call from you guys there. I was a tad over bullish. I said 115. But the direction was correct.
yeah.
We,
Well,
we, we
we
called
all
that
did
move.
say new all-time highs,
Yeah,
which
and
was
we got it.
interesting. Yeah.
We got it.
At the time, we was at 105. Bitcoin was at
Yeah.
105 when we made the bet. So I feel like we were correct to say we're going to push up some more.
Yeah, I think it was a great call.
XRP.
XRP sadly didn't move as much as we thought it probably would.
Yeah.
As you can see, if anything, actually, since last Crypto Waffle, it's probably gone down a bit.
Well, the last
So,
one we was at 237, so it has gone down a tiny bit.
yeah. So, unfortunately, all incorrect there.
Which is
Um,
interesting, right? Because for Bitcoin to go up and XRP to not move is an
yeah.
interesting week.
Because, I mean, to be honest, on the Bitcoin move, we only had a certain, I would say, handful of movers. It wasn't like we saw everything
No,
get lifted.
that's right.
So, I mean, it happens. I'm sure XRP will have its point again. Kind of thing with ENA as well. That didn't really move. I mean, you guys did get it. You tagged, well, just shy, but I'm gonna give it to you again. Of the 45 cents, we
45,
went
yeah.
to a high of 44.7.
Oh,
So again, tapped that resistance line, got hammered back down, and as I said last time, we are forming this lovely little head and shoulders that does have a target of around 83, and look where that takes us, bang to resistance there. So
so on that one, you and me were the ones that said 45.
yeah,
It was the other guy that said 51.
yeah, it was Crypto Insight UK that said 50, yeah, 51.
All right, well, we won't be getting him back on again.
um, then again in PopCat, thankfully, we hit your target of 58 cents, and that is the one that I used in the trade.
Yeah.
So thank you myself for being conservative using your take profit and not my own,
Also,
because I did have a
interest.
target of 70 cents.
Also, interestingly, we upped our leverage on that one too.
Did
Because
we?
yeah, Crypto Insight UK was like, oh, free X. Oh, look at you, tough
Oh, so
guys.
we upped them all.
He kind of mugged us off a little bit. So we were like, all right, we'll do 4X then because we're double off. And we ended up
It worked
upping it.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we hit. What did we go with?
So when
58.
we hit your target of 58,
Okay.
me and Will had 70 cents, so we were a bit off.
Okay.
Again, I was probably a tad bullish last week. And then kind of same thing for Sand. Unfortunately, the metaverse plays, I mean, initially went our way, didn't get to any of our targets, and since then reversed. So we had to recap. Crypto C and Crypto Insight UK both hit their Bitcoin targets. No one hit XRP. Me and yourself hit the ENA. Crypto
Yep.
Insight UK didn't. Popcat, you hit, and Sand and no one hit. So you are the winner for last week's episode.
Come on. Get
So
in.
this week, keep Bitcoin. I think we should do hype.
Oh, definitely.
And it's a hard one because we are at highs.
Yeah.
Then do you want to do, is it Sentient? The Sui
Which one?
hack?
Oh, Cetus.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do Cetus.
let's do Cetus as well. And then two other things. Anything you'd like.
Thor chain.
That's RUNE, isn't it?
Yeah.
RUNE. Why RUNE?
Because they were in the toilet and they have probably the most profitable actual network in the entirety of crypto. Maybe
Right. Okay.
second to ETH, but they generate monster fees, and it's quite similar to Hype in that it's a chain purely for swapping other tokens.
Okay.
I think 4chain's an interesting one.
I don't know what else to pick. I'm stuck.
What was your gem of the week?
Zano.
It won't be on there though, will it?
No.
I don't think 4chain will be on there either,
It
actually.
won't be on Hype.
RUNE is. Zano
I would.
is.
Do you know what? I'm gonna do PEPE. I'm gonna keep a meme in there because I don't think they're done.
Okay.
I'm happy to have PEPE. So Bitcoin, where do you think we'll go this week? All-time highs again? Are we in that the window, or do you think we'll maybe get a little pullback? I just want to show you this chart actually before we predict. This is the global liquidity chart that we all love. Let me just align this. So according to this chart, we should maybe see a little pullback to
A
around
little pulley
98.
pulley. A little pulley pulley
Yeah,
before we
going
go.
into the start of June, the first week or two, and everyone will be going, "Oh my God, I should have sold in May and walked away, sold in May and walked away." And then if this chart is correct, it's going to be, hell no, you shouldn't. We're going to 120K, baby.
Yeah.
So now you've seen that, and I shall take it away again. Where do you think we're going?
I think we're going up.
Higher.
Yeah. Higher.
Whereabouts?
I'm gonna say, where are we at now? 110. I'm gonna say I feel like we just go sideways, you know. Let me just say 115.
Yeah, sensible.
Yeah. Because I do feel like I don't think we get the pullback. I think we're too close to the
I
second
think
half
we
of the
get a
year.
small one, like small, but we've already had kind of a small thing.
Yeah.
I think we could just be in a chop, but I think alts can still move from here.
So that's what I think moves next. I think alts start to move next.
Yeah, I think that they start pushing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with 104. Is that too close?
The thing is, we both are feeling like chop, aren't we? I feel like
Yeah.
we're going to chop, and so do you, but we can't really say chop because we have to say
Okay.
one or the other.
I'm going to go 102.
Bearish.
I think we could come down. I think it's just a wide chop, effectively. We're just going to form a nice big bull flag between, say, there, say here and here. Just choppy, 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 bang.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
what
what
we
I think
see.
too. I think the choppy is going to last us until maybe the second week of
Yeah.
June.
So you're 115, I am 102, and this is for next week.
Okay.
Hype. We've done this one before. I don't think it worked out too well. But let's go again. Where do you think we're going?
Oh.
It's difficult because we're at all-time highs and there's nothing above us. Zilch,
Yeah.
which is in my book, Blue Skies Trading.
Yeah, we got to keep going up, haven't we?
I would assume so.
We have to keep going up because this is not a token without utility. Like there's a whale that's doing the
He's stopped though
800.
now, hasn't he?
Yeah, didn't he lose 10 million?
No, I mean he's been doing it for a while, but he came out. He was up about 85 mil, but walked away with 25 mil profit.
Oh, is that all?
So
What
yeah,
what a tramp.
pocket change, pocket change. What sort of money is he playing with? Is it even real?
You should go to the kids table with that amount. You should go
Yeah.
play with the other kids. Okay, I'm gonna say that this is gonna keep pushing higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the token is being used for something. I think that counts. So you've got the hype between it being in all-time highs, pardon the pun, and also the fact that the token is relevant.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 44.
I'm going to join you.
Yeah, I think that's good. Nice. Cetus. Now this is a difficult one. Is it
What are we at
Cetus? Is
now?
that
What's
pronounced
Hype at
right?
now?
Hype's at 37.
Okay.
That's still a decent move.
Yeah.
44. Is
Okay.
it Cetus? Have I pronounced that right?
Yeah, that's how I pronounce it. So
Okay. So this is a difficult one because I do feel we just chop on this for like down here between, I mean, say 111 to 113 for a week or two just to digest this move. Then we start the recovery. Because you've also actually, I didn't notice that, but look at that. We have, if I get rid of this line here, a little argument for a lovely double bottom, as you can see, or a W bottom.
yeah, but
See that?
yeah,
And we're retesting the neckline effectively.
yeah, and it had already shot up. I think without this hack, I think that's just consolidation before it considers going back to all-time highs.
I want to hit target for a double bottom, so it's actually irrelevant. I think we chop. I'm going to be conservative and say we maybe reach 15 cents because I just think in this we go sideways.
I'm going to say I'm saying 20.
You reckon we get back to highs? Ooh.
Yeah, I say we recover back to local highs.
Yeah, I'm going to be really conservative. I know it's not much of a game if I say 15 cents, but I do just think we're going to range.
Yeah.
And plus, we can't trade it anyway, so what if it's boring?
Sometimes it is boring. Look, we're not in the business of having fun. We're in the business of making money.
Indeed. So RUNE, I have not looked at this chart for a while, as you can probably see. Although I have got some squiggles drawn on it.
So RUNE is going through it at the minute. RUNE is that jilted husband who is now going to the gym to get buff because he really wants to show his wife what she's missing. That is RUNE right now. They had a terrible...
How is this when does RUNE first come out? 2021, is that right?
Yeah, RUNE came out.
Right,
No,
okay.
Before that. I'm sure it came out before that.
So there must be a better chart than this then.
Yeah, I think RUNE came out maybe 18 or 19. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Who else will have old charts?
But do you know what? That might be when it had its own chain. So before that, it was a token on other people's chains. So maybe that's what it is.
Here you go. Look at that. Well, this is 2020 actually. So this goes as far back as August 19.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take
a better
that.
chart.
Yeah, I'll take that. That was before it started moving anywhere anyway. So
yeah,
everything before doesn't matter.
Got a nice little what looks to be wedge forming, I would say.
Yeah.
There's an argument to say that.
We're struggling to find it. So that massive drop off was when they had these loans.
What, this here?
Yeah, they had these loans that they were doing, and then the loans went bad. It was a bit like a what was that thing? UST. What was it called?
Luna.
Yeah, a bit like a Luna type situation. A load of people had said, look, you can't borrow something and put the collateral of itself against it. We've just seen it happen with Luna. And obviously 4chain, they've got I think they're called the Thor Chads, and they were like, listen, you lot shut the hell up, we can do what we want, blah, 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 blah. And then obviously because maths is maths, it all fell apart, which it was going to. They managed to stall the chain in time and stop the loans, which saved the chain. The chain is still doing trades. Loads of wallets plug into 4chain to do their trades. You can trade across networks. It works, and it is generating monster fees. They are using the fees to pay back the people who lost money on loans. I think what they are doing will save them. They've partnered up with another project called Kujira, and they're launching something called Ruji or something like that. They've
Ruji.
two names together. Yeah, it's a Cosmos play, so the underlying technology is strong. I think this one recovers.
Yeah.
And if it does, it continues to go up.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good constructive wise. Got a nice little bottom here. Nice move up, forming the ball flag, ready to move. I'm going to go bullish on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say $3.
Whoa! In 1 week, 50%
Maybe,
move.
maybe $3. I mean, we won't be able to trade this one again, will we?
No, I'm gonna say
We're very
240.
limited this week. We'll only have Hype, Bitcoin, and Pepe.
No, we can trade this one. We can trade RUNE.
Oh, this is on Hype.
Yeah. RUNE's
Oh,
on.
perfect.
I'm gonna say 240.
240. I was going to say 280, but I thought that was too safe.
You've gone crazy these last few weeks. Say you know the bull run's coming.
It's because that Popcat's worked.
Oh,
Popcat's
right.
kicked it all off.
You're high on your own supply.
I'm chasing more gains.
Yeah, that's not dangerous at all.
No.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we got one missing. We've got to do one more.
Yeah, Pepe.
Okay.
Oh my God, what have I just done? Pepe the frog. Right, where do you think we're going? In my eyes, forming a lovely little ball flag, ready to rock.
We got 0, 4. What is it? 1, 3.
That much of a move.
I
Actually,
can't
no,
make heads or tails
that's a
of that
big
chart.
move, isn't it? That's a
Let me pull up my own one.
30% move. Oof. I reckon we go to 1.6, which from current price is around about 17% to the upside. Which is pretty much us to continue into range, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Which I think is conservative. As you called it 1.7, why not?
It's done almost 100% this month. Oh no, 50% it's done.
Pepe's no slouch.
Yeah, but it's a big old.
It's a big old boy, but it's ready to move.
Yeah, big old asset. No, I don't think it goes this week. Sorry. When Pepe goes, it's alt season.
It'll be ETH. When ETH will be the trigger for Pepe.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that will definitely be the trigger.
I feel like Pepe's such a big meme. It can go on its own.
It'll be one of those things that when like the FOMO starts and new people come in, they go, "Oh, Bitcoin, no, not risky enough. ETH, not risky enough. Sol, not risky enough. Doge, Pepe, all these other things that they see in like the top 20/30.
Yeah.
They'll just start hammering. They'll go, "Oh yeah, Sui, that looks good." All these other things.
Ooh, I'm edgy. I'm buying something outside the top 20. I'm going to buy Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe the frog.
Yeah, okay.
And you don't need to sit down and actually go, "Well, what does it do?" It's just a green frog.
Yeah, that's what it does. It bees a green frog. So what did you say? 16?
I am going 1.7, so 0.000017.
I'm going to go 4 zeros and a 2.
You're doing it even above me.
Yeah.
Boy!
That's right.
Big move.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, well, that is it. That is predictions for this week. Take us in to our last week's trades. I want to see my profits.
You're gonna love this. All right, here we are with our. We've still got a position in at the moment, actually, and we are in the money.
Take the money and run, please.
Let's
close all. Yeah. 2 profitable trades. So congratulations, Will, and congratulations, us.
Well, Will's one, unfortunately, it almost touched the take profit, but we just missed it. Yeah, we then had a midweek try to bend the rules from you, which was a bit
No, it was a community vote.
It was a trying to bend the rules because you had this vote where you lasted the vote for like 20 minutes and then you were like, right, polls are in now, let's close it
Well,
out.
so for full transparency, viewers, in the Crypto Waffle Light Telegram group, I put a message basically saying to the community, reply to this message with I think it was a fire emoji or whatever it
Yeah,
was, to close the trade, to take the money and run. Because I
yeah.
believe at the time we were up 30%, 24%,
Yeah, no, more than that. It was like
something,
50,
maybe
60%.
40%, something like
We
that,
were well up.
60%.
Yeah, we were well
Yeah.
up.
Anyway, I put it in there. Unfortunately, not loads of members replied. They just looked at it and thought, meh, chatting shit. But the ones that did reply, I then made the executive decision and said to Crypto C, look, close it, get that money out.
Yeah.
And he assumed I was bending the rules.
You were bending the rules because there was no such provision for these votes to happen.
Can I put forward that from now on,
Yes. I think that's a,
if the community goes in favour,
I think that's a brilliant idea.
that we close?
So what I think we should do, so cryptowaffle.fun is how you find the community, right? So join,
Yeah.
come and join. It's free, and there's like loads of ways to learn how to do great crypto stuff like we do. So what we'll do is at random intervals during the week, we can say the trade is at such and such a position. Should we keep it on or should we close it? And then if the community say, then we can keep it on or close it. But the caveat is the vote has to last at least 24 hours. So
Okay,
everyone
24
needs,
hour vote.
yeah, so everyone needs to get a chance to see it because when you put
Yeah.
it on, like the Americans were asleep and you were like, right, quickly close it. And they would have woken up and they would have been like,
That's a fair comment.
yeah, they would have been like, I don't want to
Yeah,
close it. So
that's fair enough.
so you can put it in, but it has to last at least 24 hours, and then we will go from there.
Yeah, that's good with me.
Our current balance is $124, so we are back in the green. We are back.
24%.
Yep, we are back to being winners. So if we'd have put on 100 million, we would have made our 24 million by now.
Yeah, light work.
Light work, easy peasy, easy peasy. So yeah, so if you want to make 24 million, this is how you do it. First of all, you just start with 100 million and then you do exactly what we do.
Can you go to trade history quickly just so I can see what was the percentage gain on PopCap? If you go to the right hand side, do you see that little closed P&L? Yeah, click that. 132%.
That's not too bad.
Love that. And you know the funny thing is that literally if you go to a PopCap chart, it literally tagged, what was it? I went to a high on my screen of 159 and then reversed.
Yeah,
So we literally managed to get out at pretty much the high,
yeah.
or near enough.
Oh no, yeah, here we go. Yeah, 59. There it goes.
And then
And then it comes straight
straight
back
down.
Yeah,
So thankfully that worked.
yeah.
So this week,
we kissed it.
which one you're going to have? You said the Cetus isn't on there, no?
Yeah, Cetus is not on here, unfortunately. So we can only have RUNE, PEPE, Hype, or Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a bit small potatoes for us. RUNE, I think I'm going to go for RUNE if you don't.
Yeah, you can take RUNE. I'll let you take RUNE.
I think that's the safest one of the two. I don't know if I want to be longing all the damn time and longing with all this green. Look, everything is green.
Well, Hype's down 4% today. RUNE's down 3, just shy of 4. Bitcoin's only up 0.2. PEPE's only up 0.5%.
Yeah, no, there's too much. There's too much green here. There's way too much green here.
Do you know what? I would like to take the Bitcoin short
Oh,
to 102. And I'm going to use your 115 as a stop, if that works.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so we'll do a short 3x Bitcoin. What should we put in? How much should we put in?
Is it $30 we put in?
30, yeah, because that's like a quarter. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
$30.
$30. Oh, whoops. Oh,
Yeah,
there.
that'll do.
29.50 is close enough. Right, take profit 102.
Yeah, 102. Let me just confirm with my my charts. Can we do 102 too? And then 115 as a stop. I'm not sure that's going to play out. Nah, no, I want a closer stop than that. Give me 1 second.
Remember, it is Bitcoin, so
Do 114.
you want it closer than that?
Yeah.
Okay, 114.
Yeah, that's good with me.
I feel like I'm going to do a short as well.
I think it's the safe play. I think we chop.
Yeah.
And as we do come into that 102, if we do, I will be putting a 24-hour call into the channel. Guys, let's get out the trade. 104, take the money and run.
I'm gonna whack this one in. You happy with it?
Yep, go for it.
Let's get it. It is 3x.
Do we have to take trades or can we just sit flat?
No, we've got to take trades, otherwise.
Yeah. That's why I went for this.
Yeah, that's what
I think it's a kind of week where it's just maybe sideways.
All right. Well, if I'm gonna short, I'm gonna go hype.
Ooh, dangerous.
It's been going up like a madman over the last.
It has. It has. But we're both bullish on our predictions. That's going against our word.
It's true.
And I've actually wanted to short Bitcoin.
All right. True.
I can't help but feel you have to take a long.
I have to take the long, yeah. Okay. Put my money where my mouth is. Let me shouting bullish, bullish, bullish all the time. Let's actually go.
So you're going to do RUNE, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to do RUNE.
I'm
going to do $30. And my take profit is 240.
Yes, it is. Are you sure you want to take 240 and don't want to be a tad conservative?
Wait.
I was going to say 230.
Well, as soon as we get to $2.10, you're going to probably whack something in the. Oh, let's close the trade, guys.
No. Let's make a rule. I can't close your trade. You can't close my trade.
Okay. As soon as we see a tiniest shoots of green, the financial navigator jumps into the chat. Hey guys, let's
take the money. Take the money.
All right. My stop loss will be 170.
Yeah, I think that's enough room for error. I like it.
Okay, let's go. Why is there no liquidation price?
Because you got a stop loss.
Yeah, it should still show one though, shouldn't it?
No, because you can't be liquidated.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Although, to be fair, I don't know why Bitcoin's showing one, because we shouldn't be able to get liquidated anyway.
Yeah, you
but
see.
hey-ho.
Yeah, well, all right, so for you to get liquidated, we'd have to go all the way up to 250,000.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I'd like that. That'd be great. I'd happily just let this account melt.
Yeah. Lose the $30 and then ride off into the sunset. Okay, so currently, even though I'm long and you're short, we seem to both be in the money.
Do you know what would be good is if we came down, hit mine, didn't hit your stop loss, then the reversal, which I think we've done a couple of times before.
We have done that before, yeah. We have done that before.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
Okay, so there we go. This week's trades are a RUNE long,
Yeah. And a Bitcoin
and the
short.
Bitcoin short.
And to recap the gems of the week, or shall I say, gems of the bull run, is probably better worded, is MLG. Actually, no, I need to get it up quickly because I need to give you the full name. MLG 360 no scope 420 blaze it, and Zano.
Yes.
Not financial advice.
No. No. But what I'm going to do is all of our gems of the week, I'm going to buy them. I'm going to
do
buy
it.
all of our gems of the week.
Well, I've got these two already, so I'm, for full transparency, own both gems of the week.
Yeah, I've got neither of them. So I'm going to buy both of these, and then from now on, every time I have a gem of the week, I'm going to buy them. And when they double, I'm going to take my initial out, and I don't know.
Leave the rest to ride.
Yeah, and if it's your gem, I'll buy you a meal.
Deal.
Fair. That's fair.
You can't buy Zano now and then buy me a meal because you told me about it in the first place.
No, I'm expecting you to buy me a meal because of Zano. In fact, I'm wondering where is this meal you owe me? Yeah, so the ones which I've told you about, you got to buy me a meal.
And we were before we come off. I just want to say we were actually talking before we went live and said that once we get to a big enough point, I think we will start to do in-person meetups in the UK or wherever we are in the world.
Yes,
we will look to do Crypto Waffle events at some point. So just keep your eyes peeled for them. Or if you want one to do us soon, just let us know and we'll see what numbers we can get together.
What we do need what we need in return is that you tell your friends to come and join the Telegram group.
Yeah.
Because once we've got good numbers in there, that's when we're going to start doing our meetups. That's the deal.
The Telegram Lite, to get a feel of it. Then if they want the sauce, the Waffle VIP, it's definitely something to be looking at.
But they can be in the free one before we start doing the meetup.
Yeah, definitely. Because the meetups will be for the free channel anyway. It's for the community, so it's not just for Waffle members.
Not just for the sexy people.
Yeah. So until next time, everybody, thank you for joining, and we shall see you next week on episode 30.
Yes.
So, adios.